Hey everyone, it's Darren with Amara, and let's talk about some best practices for translating. First off, it's super important that you avoid literal translations, especially when it comes to puns or phrases in the source language. The goal of all translations is to capture the idea or the concept of the source language, not to translate it word for word. Translating word for word oftentimes looks like machine translation, and is really unfortunate because although you probably worked really hard to try to translate each individual word, it doesn't capture the overall meaning of the source language and is going to get flagged as a machine translation. So, to help avoid literal translations, there's a few tips that we have. First, think of an equivocal phrase in your native language and use that translation instead. So, try to relate to it. Try to think about it in the way that you would say it, maybe in your native language. The next one is to try generalizing the meaning of the phrase or the pun, and then translate that more generalized meaning. So, kind of break it down, simplify whatever this pun means, and get it into something that's easy for you to translate and still capture the meaning. Next, make sure that whatever you translate still fits within the character or the style of the person who said it. So, for example, if somebody was telling a joke or made a funny pun in English, you would want to make your translation still have some humor into it that really reflected the character and the nature of that speaker. Next, this is kind of a classic thing that we recommend for kind of quality in general, but make sure to watch the video to get the full context of what's happening. This might give you ideas on how to do that rephrasing or that generalization, and just to kind of help get through some of those tricky situations. The next one is another kind of general hint, which is look at the subtitles ahead or behind the ones that you're currently working on. The analogy I use here is sometimes it's easier to build a jigsaw puzzle by doing the edge pieces first and then filling in the middle. This is kind of the same idea. Look at the subtitle above, look at the subtitle below, and try to make sure that whatever you're putting into the subtitle between those two really fits in with everything else.